But enough about that. Let's not waste any more time. It's Tuesday night, Umineko. Let's load up the game. I clicked the wrong thing, so it's not going to show, isn't it? Forgot the other thing. Forgetting things and me. Name a more iconic duo. There we go. Me and forgetting things. Iconic. Welcome to the stream. Tuesday, Umineko. Let's try to recount what occurred last. I want to say that on Saturday's stream of Umineko, it was the trials. We saw George. We saw Jessica. We saw Jessica just destroy Kyrie. So since then, I've, the few nights since then, I've, before going to bed, I would say a little prayer for dead Kyrie again. Not making it out. Despite her being very smart and closing herself in a room. What got her? Jessica magic. Or was it? We'll never know. So yeah. Kyrie died at the hands of Jessica to prove her love. Essentially to prove her love for canon. But also, the way the story seems to presenting it is that it's a trial to kind of prove that you love the person, but it's a demonic, like, I don't know what word I want to use. Ability or power or blessing or contract, I think were some terms they were throwing around. Basically, you pass these trials, not only do you prove that you love, you're doing a difficult thing to prove you love, but also in the eyes of these weird demons that they deserve to impart their blessing so that your love can work. Because allegedly, if they don't, because of their situations, Canon and Shannon being furniture, the rules apparently state that their love is just bound to not work unless they have these demons and their power. That is what I gained from it. Let us also not forget, I almost forgot until I started thinking about Shannon Cannon here, that they also did their trial. It was like a shared trial. We had Cannon essentially, I'm going to say it. I said it Saturday. I'm going to say it again. Essentially take the coward's rat out. Just beat up Rosa. Just so quick. It was honestly unfair. And then he was about to dust his hands. He was like, I did the thing. Easy. Honestly, coward, but I would be the same. What's the bare minimum I have to do? I just have to kill someone. Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby? Okay. Coughing baby in this is Rosa here. Cannon, the hydrogen bomb. Destroyed her. Then, by killing Rosa, that summoned the wrath of Maria. She comes in, and she's like, I'm here, and I'm gonna kick your ass because you killed my mama. And I was like, oh god, well here's Maria. And then, off of Cannon's kill, Shannon comes in and is like, my turn, I'm piggybacking off this. The demons were like, is this allowed? And they're like, I don't know, but it makes for great television and great content, so sure, whatever. So then Shannon kills Maria in some kind of like, there's no rules in the rule book that says a dog can't play basketball. They basically said, I'm not going to use my magic to attack you. I'm going to use my magic to essentially just squish you to death. And she did a barrier thing and then just really just expanded it and just crushed Maria. And Sakataro, she killed 2 people. With a loophole in the magic. And it's like, I'm not using this to attack. I'm just expanding my defensive barrier. And oops, you were caught in it. And so Maria and Sakataro die. And that's, I think, where we kind of ended. I think then it came to a thing where, obviously, we had the Angie check-in. That's the trademark term for it. Angie, the Angie and theater-going lady being spirit, which, check-in moments. And then we had Battler come to, I think, be the partner to, because Young... It's the way I say it, it's like she's like a rapper with young Beatrice, young Beato was without a partner. She was by herself and she entered the game. She was a late entry into the game. And then Batter was like, "Oh, I'm here." And then I think that's where we kind of ended. So I think that was a pretty accurate job of describing what happened on the last stream. I gotta say. Especially for the YouTube watching crowd, generally, most of the time when I've done these recaps, I've had someone in chat, at least one person in chat, backing up what I say, trying to get me on track. I would say this one didn't have it. And I gotta say, I think I did pretty good. I think I did pretty okay. Normally, especially coming in on a Tuesday, my mind's everywhere else. I've forgotten everything that's happened a few days ago. And, yeah, and so I think I did a good job there, honestly, couldn't have been better. Oh yeah, and then I made a funny, yes, they're fucking the same thumbnails twice in a row on these save points. It's just funny to me, that's all. So let's begin. Tonight probably won't be super long. Don't be surprised if it's only like about 2 hours or so. I can't be on here super late, unfortunately. But again, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching the VOD, you see the time bar. You know how long I actually end up being here. It's like you're from the future almost. You have the foresight. How long I'll actually log in on Umineko tonight. I'll just audio once we get into the talking faces, as I always do. Let me see this notification I got in a sec. Let me clear that. Okay, had to respond to a text. Okay, we are good. I'm not going to look at my phone anymore. Erica. Oh yeah, we're with Erica. Oh yeah, I don't know if this was on Saturday stream or the stream before on Tuesday, a week ago. Oh wait, it totally was last stream, because now I remember all the things. The weird Erica, she was talking about... Honestly, it seems so out of place that it feels like it might be important later on, or it was really just stuck in there to be like an Erica... sympathize with her type moment kind of thing. It was kind of strange. I don't think usually I talk about how I, like, over the few days in between these Umineko streams, I like unpack a lot of what had happened and stuff to like really nail down how I feel about certain things and the events that occurred in that stream. I don't think I really did that with this Erica thing that happened last stream, where then she then zooped in like Delanor and had her stand in as the person to be like to stand in as the person that may or may not have cheated on her, and how she would have combated that as like an argument type thing, and all kinds of strange. Not strange in a bad way necessarily. It was a good strange, I would say. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I like interesting moments. Erica was dozing off on her bed. Oh yeah, and then there was a whole thing about like Erica being like, "Oh man, since Battler's the game master this round, he's made it difficult on me. I'm in a faraway room, I think, something like that." Erica was dozing off on her bed, so when a knock sounded on the door, it took some time before she noticed. She looked at the clock and saw that not much time had passed since she had lain down.
Hi, どちら様ですか?
Yes, who is it?
こんな時間に探偵の部屋をノックするからには相応の理由はあるんですよね。
I hope you have a good reason for knocking on the detective's door in an hour like this.
そうだ。
That's right.
今回のゲームを始める前に一つ宣言があります。
There's something happening here. I have one thing to say before we begin this game.
ああ、例の探偵宣言とやらか。
Oh, that detective proclamation thing?
好きにするがいいぜ。
Do as you wish.
いいえ、その逆です。
No, I mean the opposite.
勝負のレートを上げようということです。
I say we raise the stakes.
勝負のレートとは
Raise the stakes?
何何
What's this?
面白そうなこと言い出すじゃない。
God, we haven't seen Lambda Delta in a long time, I feel like. Now that sounds interesting.
どういうことよ。
What do you mean?
簡単な話よ。
Same with Bernie, honestly. I think it's mostly because we've been staying out of this, like, this realm as far as with them. We really were busy with, like, what Battler is going through and how he's setting up the game and all these kinds of things. And I think the Angie sections have kind of gotten in the way of, like, not gotten in the way, but have taken up some time, I think, in the narrative to be like, oh, and then let's check out what these two gremlins are doing, you know? Like, there's like this section where it's like, well, we can't have, you know, we push the limit sometimes about how many different perspectives and how we're switching around at different parts and chapters. We can't. I mean, what else are they doing? They're probably just sitting around lounging until Battler's ready to commence the game, you know? So it's understandable, I think. Burn Castell says, it's simple. Battler got a shot off at us in the last game. So, if Erica does the same in this game, we're only even. Wasn't the last game a tie? We failed to win a game that should have been a shoo-in, right? If that isn't a loss, I don't know what is. Right, Erica? Yes, my master. If I hadn't failed so miserably, we would have won that game easily. Oh, I get it. So this time, you'll intentionally fight at a disadvantage by not making a detective proclamation and win despite that. Your scheme not only wipe out your loss from the previous game, but to totally flip the score upside down, right? Wait, she's like so embarrassed. She's gonna like basically play. She's saying she's playing the game with an arm tied behind her back as to essentially put into like a double or nothing type situation. She's like, if I can win by handicapping myself, then we forget about me utterly being embarrassed in the last round, is what she seems to be claiming. I can only hope that this only further embarrasses Erica if she loses this round. You intend to participate in the game Battler-san poured his heart and soul into without a foolish handicap like that? Oh, with a foolish handicap. That makes a bit more sense. That is not only presumptuous, it's quite rude. You got a point there. Sounds like more like an excuse just in case they lose. Damn. See? Battler's smart. He's like, oh, nah. You're gonna handicap yourself, so if you lose again, you can just claim that you were fighting an uphill battle.
確かにそういう見方もあるわね。
True. You could always look at it that way.
勝てば大勝利。
Oh, okay, I guess that was all. If they win, it's a great victory, but if they lose, Erica's side has a nice little excuse.
でも負ければ言い訳可能なんてちょっとエリカ側に虫のいい話だわ。
Isn't that a bit unsporting?
大丈夫よ。ちゃんとかけるものは公平だわ。
Don't worry, this bet is balanced on both sides.
今回のゲームに探偵宣言なしの人間で勝てれば、バトラたちの魔女幻想は粉々の再起不能。
If this game is won by a human without the detective proclamation, it'll be impossible for Battler and the others to pick up the pieces of the illusion of the witch.
でも逆にエリカが負けるようなら、このゴミクズ探偵は忘却の深淵に最悪のかけらと一緒にぶち込んでやるの。
But on the other hand, if Erica loses, that detective trash will be sent into the depths of oblivion along with the worst possible fragment. Bernie's like, I will send my duplicate to the fucking Shadow Realm. That's the face of confidence. I see it there.
ね、
See?
公平でしょ。
That's balanced, isn't it?
探偵という超人でなく、ただの人間が魔女幻想を打ち破るという最高の勝利。
An ultimate victory with a mere human, not a Superman detective destroying the illusion of the witch.
それと引き換えに自身の破滅をかけてるわけ。
She's putting her own destruction on the line to make that bet.
私はかつてのベアトとあんたのゲームみたいにダラダラとぬるいゲームを繰り返されちゃもう退屈なわけ。
I've gotten bored with these sluggish repeating games that you and the former Beato made.
だから勝負のレートを上げて一気に勝負をさせるわけ。
So we're raising the stakes and settling it all at once.
まあ確かにそうね。
Well, that is true.
今回のゲームをバトラが通しちゃったら
If Battler makes it through this game,
ベアトのゲームにバトラが勝利したことになりゲームは終了してしまう。
it'll mean that Battler has won Beato's game and the game will end.
ある意味逃すことのできない決戦だものね。
In a sense, it's a showdown you can't escape, right?
言い分は分かった。
I see your position.
エリカはそれでいいのか？
Are you okay with that, Erica?
もちろんです。
Yes, of course.
前回の敗北で失った主よりの信頼を取り戻すために私は自分の破滅すらもかけるのです。
In order to regain my master's trust in me, which was lost by my previous defeat, I will risk even my own destruction.
お前の意志なのか？
Is that of your own will?
どうしたのエリカ。
What's wrong, Erica?
答えてあげなさい。
Answer him, okay?
当然です。
Obviously.
私の意志です。
This is my own will.
私は絶対に負けません。
I certainly will not lose.
探偵宣言なんかなくてもあんたを必ず打ち破ってみせます。
Even without the detective proclamation, I will defeat you no matter what.
バトラさん。
Battler-san. Battler.
いいだろう。
Sure. That's fine.
お前がそうしたいというなら、その勝負を受けてやる。
If that's what you want, I'll accept that challenge.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
受けたことを必ず後悔させてやりますから。
I'll make sure you regret it.
まあ思えばバトラだって人間側だった時はずっと探偵権限なんて便利な力は一切なかった。
After all, when Battler played for the human side, he never had anything as convenient as the detective's authority.
許されてたのは 青き真実と復讐要求だけ。
All he was allowed to do was use the blue truth and demand that Beato repeat things he said.
そういうこ
Exactly.
と。ある意味前回のゲームの方がアンフェアだったわけだわ。
In a way, last game was unfair.
それで勝ちを落とすのだから、それは負けと全く同じ。
We failed to win despite that, which is why it was no different from a loss.
好きにしろ。
Do what you want.
お前が探偵宣言をしたくなったらいつでもすればいい。
If you feel like making a detective proclamation, do it whenever you like. See, I feel like with this line, she's gonna get, like, some ways into the game, she's gonna be, like, on the ropes and be in a bind. What other phrase can I say? Between a rock and a hard place. And she's gonna have to make the detective proclamation, even though she's gonna look foolish or whatever. She's still gonna have to do it. She's gonna be pissed. But she'll have to do it so that she can get out of some kind of bind.
今はそれを保留していると理解して。
Feels like it's setting up for that. I understand that you're holding it in reserve at the moment.
誰か宣言なんかするもんですか。
As if I'd use such a thing
あんた程度の相手に。
against an opponent like you.
では始めなさい、二人とも。
Then get started, you two.
私の退屈はもう始まっているわ。
I'm already starting to get bored.
お任せを、我が主。
Leave it to me, my master.
必ずや魔女幻想を打ち破ってご覧に入れます。
I will destroy the illusion of the witch for you without fail. Said with 100% confidence. George and Jessica had been the ones knocking on Erica's door. They were asking whether Battler and Maria had come to this room. Okay. Of course, they hadn't.
ずいぶん前に下に飲み物を取りに行くと言って降りたきり戻らないんだ。
A good while ago, they went downstairs saying they wanted to get something to drink.
ひょっとしてエリカちゃんの部屋に来てるかなと思ってね。
We thought they might have come to your room.
来るわけないです。
Of course not. Why would they?
屋敷にでも行ったんじゃないですか。
Are you sure they didn't go to the mansion?
屋敷の使用人室や食堂に電話してるんだけど誰も出なくて。
We called the servant room and dining hall of the mansion, but no one picked up.
あなたたちはここにいてください。
Please stay here, you two.
私はちょっと屋敷の様子を見てきます。
I'm going to go check the mansion.
危ないよ、こんな時間に。
Hey, it's dangerous to go out this late.
この閉鎖された島に不審者がいるはずもないじゃないですか。
How could a stranger sneak into the sealed-off island?
いとこ部屋とやらにいてください。
Stay in that cousin room of yours.
何かあったら連絡しますから。
I'll contact you if anything happens.
ゲストハウスの使用人室の人たちにもゲストハウスを出ないように伝えてください。
Also, tell the servants in the guest house servant room not to leave the building.
では。
Bye.
ちょっとエリカさん。
Wait a second. Erica-san.
変わった子だね。
She's a strange kid. After speaking her mind and not listening to anything else, Erica dashed down the stairs and rushed outside.
第一の番は夜が明けてから発覚がパターンでしたが、今回は即勝負できましたか。
The first twilight usually starts in the morning, but it looks like we've got an early fight this time.
ゲストハウスで事件は起きていない。
No crime has occurred in the guest house.
となると、惨劇の舞台は屋敷ってことになりますね。
So, that means the stage of the tragedy is in the mansion. Though she had an umbrella up, Erica got drenched as she sprinted. She brashly licked the raindrops that dripped down her face. Erica was at her most energetic. She's in her zone. According to her memory from the previous game, the entrance hall to the mansion would be locked after the start of the family conference. However, the lock was undone this time. Had someone unlocked it, or had the lock not been set, or had it not been possible to set the lock?
まあ、 考えても無駄ですね。
Well, no point thinking about it now.
そんなのゲームマスターの気まぐれかもしれませんから。
After all, that might just be a whim of the game masters. As soon as she entered the entrance hall, the door of the parlor opened violently. Out of it flew Goda's large body.
おや、こんばんは、ボーダさん。
Ah, good evening, Goda-san.
何かございましたか？
Is something the matter? Police! Ambulance! That expression really is wonderfully pathetic. Just perfect for the first one to discover the crime.
どうか落ち着いてください。
Please calm down.
台風の孤島でどうやって警察と救急車が来てくれるって言うんです？
How could the police or an ambulance get to an isolated island inside Typhoon?
どうせ電話は普通にされてるんですから落ち着いてください。
I'm sure the phones are out anyway, so please calm yourself. That smile right before the screen went black. Yells from Krause and Rudolph's group could be heard from the parlor. Their shaken appearance perfectly signified the coming of the first twilight.
それでは死者と現場状況の再構築をお願いします。
Well then, give me the victims, the scene, and a reconstruction of the situation.
小休止に出た人間が戻らないので、大人たちが客前へ行ったところ、
Those who left to take a break didn't come back, so the adults went to the parlor.
扉が内から閉ざされて開かなかっ
When they did, the door was sealed from the inside, and they couldn't open it.
た。後にわかるが、客間内の防止掛けが観音開きの扉に内側から缶抜きにされていた。
You'll see later, but the hat stand in the parlor had been used to bar the double doors from the inside.
扉は内から閉ざされ、そして窓も内側から施錠と言いたいわけですね。
So you're trying to say that the door was blocked from the inside, and the windows were also locked from the inside? Also, I don't think I accurately, stated this before. I'm actually very excited to see, and maybe I did say something along these lines, but I'm very excited to see what, if anything, changes to the game with Battler being the GM here. How it changes, or what he's got up his sleeves. He was acting cold. He's clearly, his demeanor has changed, it seems, in a sense. I think he understands the importance of the situation. The stakes for him are very high. He understands, I think. No more jovial Battler. I'm with all the external pressures, and he had time to prepare, and he gets to make the game. I'm curious to see what he brings to the table. I'm very excited to see this. Very excited. Couldn't be more excited.
そういうことだ。
That's it.
外に回り、窓から客間内を見たところ、ローザがソファーに不自然な格好で横になり、額から血を流しているのが見えた。
When they went around and looked into the parlor through the window, they saw Rosa lying on the sofa in an unnatural position, with blood pouring from her forehead.
そこでガラスを割って客間に入り、他にマリアも壁際に血まみれで倒れているのを発見した。
They then smashed the glass, entered the parlor, discovered that Maria was also there, lying by the wall and covered in blood. So Maria and
なるほ
Rosa.
ど。
Got it.
それは大騒ぎですね。
Yes, that would make them yell.
他の現場は？
And the other crime scenes? Wait, is it Maria and Rosa though? Because it's Maria and Rosa because obviously what Shannon Cannon did. Right? Got it. Yes. That would make them yell. And the other crime scenes?
エリカが屋敷に入った時、玄関が施錠されていなかったのは、この客間を外から確認するために出入りがあったからだ。
The entrance was unlocked when you came into the mansion because I went through it to check the parlor from the outside.
その直前までは施錠されていたため、他にも姿を消した人間たちが屋敷内のどこかで倒れている可能性があるとして、
It had been locked before they left through it, So there was a chance that the others who had gone missing were lying elsewhere within the mansion.
大人たちは今屋敷中を探し回っている。
And the adults are now searching the entire building.
先ほど長々と見せていただいたゲロカス妄想での犠牲者と死んだ場所は実際にも同じですか？
So, do the places the victims died match that long, crazy delusion you showed earlier?
同じだ。
They match.
客間にはローザとマリ
Rose and Maria were in the parlor.
ア、それから夏日が自室でキリエがクラウスの書斎、
Beyond that, Natsui was in her own room, and Kairi was in Krause's study.
エヴァはバラ庭園、いいえ貴賓室に移動させたんでしたっけ？
Eva was in the rose garden. No, wait. She was moved to the VIP room, wasn't she?
そうだ。
Yes.
エヴァの遺体は貴賓室で見つかる。
Eva's corpse was found in the VIP room.
これで犠牲者5人ですね。
That makes 5 victims.
おや、第一の番には1人足りない。
Ah, that's one short for the first Twilight.
6人目は誰でどこです？
Who's the 6th person, and where?
旦那様、この部屋にもチェーンが。
Krause-sama, the chain on this room is also set.
切断しろい。
Cut it! Oh, he's got a
犯
gun.
人が隠れてるかもしれねえ。
The fabled gun. I like how, like, just character portraits with guns, my alarm goes off. Throughout this whole game, it's like, oh shit, that person has a gun. It's that gun. The culprit might be hiding in there.
ゴード、やる。
He also has a gun. Nice. Goda, do it! Rudolph and Krause had brought Winchesters from Kinzo's prize collection. They yelled at Goda, who was carrying the wire cutters, to cut the chain. The victims had been found one after another at several locations inside the mansion. The men who had lost their wives searched through the mansion in a rage, looking for the culprit. This was a guest room. There we go. I don't know why it got stuck there. It had previously been a room where the relatives would stay, but it hadn't been used much since the construction of the guest house. This forgotten room had been sealed from the inside by the chain. As soon as the chain was cut, Rudolph pushed Goda aside and flew into the room.
誰が嫌がる。出てきやがれ。
Is anyone there? Get out of here!
ベッドに誰かいるぞ。
There's someone on the bed.
兄貴、明かりを。
Let's get some light, Aniki. When Krause pushed a switch on the wall, the guest room lit up, and the figure lying on the bed came into view. No! I mean, you could kind of sense the thing because they were like, because earlier Battler was like, where's George? Or no, George earlier was like, where's Battler and Maria? And it's like, well, we know Maria's dead. And who else would it have been? Battler! Dead Battler.
お前、どうしてこんなところに。
Damn it. What are you doing in a place like this? Rudolph's knees crumpled and he fell over Battler's corpse. No words could console him as he cried with a mad sorrow. In a single night, he had lost both his wife and his son. During this time, Krause checked the window in the bathroom and searched the closet to find if anyone was hiding there, but found no one.
Battler! Battler! ちくしょう!
Battler! Battler! Damn it! Ah.
お気の毒です。
How's that?
信じられんことだが、この部屋も密室だ。
I can't believe it, but this room is also a closed room.
またですか?
What? Again?
そうだ。
Yes.
キリエさんのいた私の書斎、 夏日の自室、エヴァの貴賓室、ローザ親子の客間。
My study, where Kairi-san was, Natsui's room, the VIP room with Eva, the parlor with Rosa and her daughter.
そしてこのバトラー君の客室。
And now Balor-kun in this guest room.
全てが密室ということではないか。
They're all closed rooms, aren't they?
わけがわからん。
I don't understand.
まさか自殺だとでも言うのか。
It couldn't be suicide, could it?
そんなことあるもんか。
That's impossible!
これがどう自殺だってんだ。
How could this be a suicide?
あーバトラー。
At the interest of preserving my voice here. Ah, Battler! Also, no one wants to hear me actually scream
おや
for dead Battler. Oh,
これは意外でした。
there's a surprise.
まさか6人目はあなた自身とは。
To think that you yourself would be the sixth person.
たまには自分殺しも面白いもんさ。
It's more interesting to kill yourself off every now and then.
そして
True
全ての
Battler.
現場はいずれも
True.
密室です。
And all the crime scenes are closed rooms.
魔法以外では成し得ない殺人です。
It's a murder that couldn't have been performed without magic.
それを暴くゲームじゃないですか。
Isn't seeing through that the point of this game?
すなわち魔法以外で成し得なければならない殺人というわけです。
In other words, it must be a murder that could have been performed without magic.
だって本当に魔法でしかできなかったらそれってゲームが成立しませんから。
After all, if it really could be done only with magic, this wouldn't be a game.
面白い考え方だな。
That's an interesting thought.
なるほど。確かに俺たちのゲームはそういうゲームだ。
Yes, that is the sort of game we've been playing. This game is fair. The goal is to explain without magic the strange crimes that are claimed to be caused with magic. If that couldn't be done, it wouldn't be a game. In other words, as Erica had said, they must be murders that could have been performed without magic. To turn it around, the witch side had a certain responsibility. They had to make a crime that could be reproduced with tricks and not magic. Unless the human side could see through to those tricks, the witch side could use all kinds of magic and illusions. In other words, in order to carry out a closed room murder with magic, it was necessary to create a crime that would be possible by human hands.
今ならわかるわ。
Ah, it's the Angie minute. Now I understand.
セールチーヤでムカつくクラスメートたちを殺せと七姉妹に命じたとき、
I see why, when I ordered the Seven Sisters to kill my classmates back at St. Lucia's,
どうして彼女らにそれができなかったか。
they couldn't do what I told them.
そしてマモンが言った意味が今ならわかるわ。
And I understand the meaning of Mammon's words.
魔法は自らの手で成し遂げられることしかできないということか。
Magic can only do what you can accomplish by your own hands. Is that it? At that time, if I had possessed the determination to kill my classmates, no, that's not it. At that time, if I had been capable of killing my classmates, capable of pulling it off, then the Seven Sisters of Purgatory would probably have pulled it off for me. They could only accomplish what I could do myself. No, that's not it either. They could take what I had accomplished and turn it into magic. However, because there had been a great number of witnesses in that classroom, it would probably have been impossible. It would have been burned by that anti-magic toxin Maria Oni-chan and the others always talk about. However, if I'd called those classmates out somewhere without witnesses, and if I had succeeded in murder, at that point, Seven Sisters of Purgatory would be capable of carrying out a magical murder.
魔女は魔法をもってしても自らにできないことをできない。
Even with magic, witches cannot do things that they cannot accomplish by themselves.
自らにできることのみ魔法で装飾できる。
They can only adorn things that are capable of doing with magic.
面白きかな。
Interesting.
魔法を使わずして成し遂げる者が魔法を語り魔女を名乗るのだから。
And that is because those who accomplish something without using magic later claim that magic was used and call themselves witches.
このエリカとやらはそれを初めから理解している。
This Erica person has understood that since the beginning.
だから絶対に魔女に屈しない。
That's why she will never surrender to witches.
絶対にトリックで説明できるという信念を持ってる。
She is confident that it must be explainable with tricks.
かつてのバトラにはそれがなかったから、これまでああも翻弄されてきたというわけだ。
The old battler was toyed with so frequently because he did not possess that conviction.
このルールを見破られたら魔女に勝ち目はなくなるわ。
Once you see through that rule, the witch loses any chance at victory.
だからそれを見破られる前に相手を屈服させなくちゃいけない。
That's why I have to make their opponents surrender before they see the truth of that rule.
長引けば長引くほど、そしてヒントを与えれば与えるほど魔女は圧倒的に不利になっていく。
The longer the match is drawn out, and the more hints are given, the greater the witch's overwhelming disadvantage becomes. Once again, this reasoning keeps spinning around in circles. Why did Beato let this game get drawn out until she lost? Yeah, why? Many victims had been found, and the mansion was still wrapped in chaos. Hideyoshi's group seemed to have gone to the guest house, worrying about the safety of the kids there. Kraus and Rudolph's group was in the hall, talking about what should be done next. During a short gap in this chaos, Erica dashed all about the mansion. She was checking the crime scenes. Normally, with the detective's authority, Erica had the right to openly investigate the crime scenes to her heart's content. However, this time she hadn't yet made use of that authority. She was a guest and an outsider, so there was little to no chance that she would be allowed to investigate. So, she was forced to quickly check all the crime scenes now, while she still could run about as she pleased. In the servant room, there had been a clear folder containing a sketch of the mansion's interior. Because she had borrowed that, she knew the locations of all the rooms. Erica skillfully made her way through the mansion, dashing into each crime scene in turn.
エリカ卿、ご存知とは思いますが、念のためご忠告をいたします。
Lady Erica, I believe you know, but allow me to warn you just in case.
はい、何です？
Yes? What is it?
エリカ卿は確かに写真並みの驚くべき記憶力をお持ちです。
It is true that you have an incredibly photographic memory, Lady Erica.
それは探偵権限と組み合わせることで何者にも欺かれぬものとなり得ました。
That, combined with the detective proclamation, is what made it possible for you to avoid being deceived by anything.
ああ、わかってます。
Yeah, I get it.
探偵宣言をしていない私は写真並みの記憶力を持っていても欺かれない保証はないってわけですね。
Since no detective proclamation has been made about me, even my photographic memory doesn't count as foolproof evidence.
もちろん理解していますとも。
Of course, I understand that.
かといって現場を直接視認しないわけにはいきませんから。
Still, that doesn't mean I can afford to miss viewing the crime scenes directly.
前回のゲームではそこに慢心し悔やみきれぬ失態を犯しましたから。
After all, in the last game, my pride in that regard led me to a truly miserable failure.
極論、今のエリカ卿はどれほど検証しようとも。
For example, by this argument, no matter how well you examine a person's corpse,
死んだふりを見破れない可能性が常に残るということです。
you cannot even guarantee that they were not faking their death with absolute certainty.
すべての状況を個別に確定させるためにも、バトラに復唱要求をする必要があるでしょう。
Most probably, features of the situation must be individually confirmed by telling Battler to repeat them in red.
それを引き出すために青き真実を駆使しなくてはなりませんね。
I don't need to use the blue truth liberally in order to make him.
わかってます。
I understand.
基礎を十分に基本から攻めましょう。
Let's start with the basics.
探偵権限などなくてもハンデにはなりません。
The lack of the detective's authority is no handicap.
かつてのバトラと同じ条件で戦っているだけなんですから。
simply means that I'm fighting under the same conditions Battler once was. Yes, this fight is retracing the old days when Battler and Beato fought so fiercely. I have nothing as convenient as the detective's authority. I just have to truly fight the same way the old Battler fought. Thinking of it this way, it may be true that I was given quite a favorable, unfair position last game, just as my master had said. It may be difficult without the detective's authority, which is also my pride and honor as a detective. But I won't let that be a handicap. I know what magic is, and I'm fully aware of how to fight with the red and blue truths. I know the way to fight in this game many times better than the old Battler did. So confident. I quickly visited the VIP room, Kraus' study, and Natsui's room on the second floor, as well as a parlor and the guest room on the first floor. This time checking with my own eyes, as I had failed to do in the last game. I heard an update noise. Oh look, they just get a red, like... Corpse was found. Fruit Erica didn't perform a proper investigation, so the details of the cause of death are unknown. So that's what this means. Cause of death unknown, so you get the triangle of red across your screen. Across your, not screen, your icon. True. They're both dead and not dead. It's unconfirmed. All that is there is that it's their, all that is, we just have to take what the statement is. The corpse was found where it was, but she cannot guarantee, as we had just said in the text, as Delanor was saying, cannot fully confirm the cause of death, or if they are even dead, I guess you could say. Which then leads the question. If it was to get sneaky, if Battler was doing something sneaky here as he set up the game, wouldn't it make the most sense, especially since we know the least about how Battler possibly maybe died? Because we didn't actually see it. That was the mystery here. I mean, mystery within the last, like, 10 or whatever minutes. We didn't actually get to see how he died, in heavy quotes. If Battler was setting this game up, wouldn't it make the most sense for him to pull some kind of shenanigans with his own piece and be like, "Oh, I'm not my piece isn't actually dead." Just something to think about, I guess. I think this time checking with my own eyes, as I failed to do in the last game. Okay, cool. First off, all the scenes were made to look like closed rooms. Probably of special note was the fact that the master keys could have had nothing to do with the trick. Closed rooms were all made without relying on any elements that could be locked or unlocked from the outside by a master key or something else. The windows were locked from the inside, and the doors were all locked and chained. A master key could get around all the locks on the doors, but not the window locks or the chain locks. I haven't yet had Battler confirm that it's possible to manipulate those from the outside, but I'm sure I'll be able to say it in red. It'd be stupid otherwise. It would be stupid, Erica. I understand. Right now, I'm a mere human. I can't even properly confirm the deaths of the corpses. Last time I neglected to check the corpses and let a massive bit of magic get by me. I won't fail like that again. If I did, I wouldn't be able to face the master as I am indebted to. I'm so indebted to. Also, seems like she's already feeling the pressure of this handicap she placed against herself. There's got to be a part of her brain already being like, "Oh fuck, I made a huge mistake." I've really bungled this right now. I can't believe I've done this. Delanor says, "We have checked all the scenes and finished gathering information. Here is our report." Go ahead. First, All the rooms were closed rooms formed by the window locks and chain locks and the like.
外部よりの干渉の困難な方法によって密室を構築されていました。
So that interference from the outside would be difficult.
唯一の例外はローザとマリアの死んでいた客間のみです。
The only exception is the parlor, where Rose and Maria lay dead.
金慶慎んで申し上げる。
Please, allow me to speak.
帽子掛けが勘抜きにされていたものなり。
Let it be known that the door was barred with a hat stand.
実質的にチェーンロックと同様の内側のみより施錠可能と思われるものなりや。
It is thought to be substantially the same as a chain lock, in that it can only be set from the inside.
マスターキーによる解釈を完全に封じた密室を構成するためでしょう。
It is probably their goal to construct closed rooms where explanations using magic keys are made completely ineffective.
客間の性格上、チェーンロックがないため、他の何かで代用することも自然です。
The parlor has no chain lock due to its very nature, so it is natural that something else would be used in the chain's place.
ならどうしてチェーンロックのある他の部屋を密室に選ばなかったかが興味深いですね。
In that case, the interesting question becomes why one of the other rooms with chain locks wasn't chosen to be a closed room.
バトラが死んでいた客室は他にも数室あって同じような構造をしてたわけですよね。
There were several guest rooms other than the one Battler lay dead in, all with similar layouts, correct?
はい、そうです。
Yes, that is correct.
ならそこに閉じ込めれば全員チェーンロックの密室ということでより美しかったはずなのにそれをしなかった。
In that case, even though it should have been more beautiful to throw them in there, so that everyone would be inside a chain lock closed room,
どうもこの客間の帽子掛けの勘抜きとやらがうさんくさいです。
they did not.
復唱要求でよく追求するべきでしょうね。
That hat stand door bar in the parlor seems very suspicious.
あと遺体なんですが前回の首がバッサリ
I should probably pursue this when demanding red truths.
みたいに探偵権限がなくとも絶対の死亡を確認できるようなものはありましたか？
Also, we have corpses, but they are the same absolute deaths with their necks sliced open like in the last game, which could be confirmed even without the detective's authority. Of course, she had checked all the corpses in all the crime scenes this time. However, without the detective's authority, she had no guarantee that she would be able to see through any faked deaths with certainty. The old battler had also started fighting by doubting whether the victims were truly dead. It was the same for Erica.
金慶慎んで申し上げる。
Please, allow me to speak.
絶対の死を物理的に確認できる遺体はないと知りたまえ。
Know that there were no corpses that could have been confirmed dead with certainty by physical means.
金慶慎んで申し上げたてまつる。
Please, allow me to speak.
いずれの遺体も装飾された偽装死の可能性を否定できぬものなり。
We cannot deny the possibility that any one of these corpses might be a fake death. It's a little side note. Every time these two characters come in, I know it's not their personality type at all, so it's kind of unfair for me to say this. But for some reason, I can never, like, if I didn't look at, like, their name tags here, I would never be able to remember their names. And so my head, every time they appear, especially because they appear, like, almost simultaneous together, like, they're always together, you know, which makes sense or whatever for their characters or whatever, who they are. They always appear on screen together. They say a thing, they say a thing. I always in my head register them as Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which is not fair to them because they're not dumb or anything. And those, you know, Alice in Wonderland, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, they're supposed to be like dumb, right? Dumb characters, goofy characters. So that's not really fair to them. But every time one of them appears on screen, I'm like, oh, there's Tweedledee, and then the second one pops up like, and there's Tweedledum, and I'm like, I can't separate in my head that image for these two. But I digress. Did I read this? We cannot deny the possibility that any one of these corpses might be a fake death.
ま、死亡確定の復唱要求をしたところで、バトラが簡単に答えてくれるとも思いませんが。
Well, I doubt Battler will easily confirm their deaths in red even if I tell him to.
やれやれ。
Sheesh.
私はベア トの時の6連鎖密室の方が面白かったけど、
I like Beato's chain of 6 closed rooms better.
でもマスターキーが一切通用しないという意味においては密室の完成度は今回の方が上ね。
However, these closed rooms are even more complete, considering that master keys don't help you at all. Fuck it, leave it to Lambda Delta. The first 6 deaths occur, and she's like, I liked it when what Beato did better. And Battler's just like, please shut up, please shut up, please shut up, please shut up. Please shut up, please shut up.
バトラが狙ってくる密室
Stop criticizing me.
おおむね2つ。
There are 2 general ways of breaking closed rooms that Battler might be after.
密室錯覚と事件錯覚。
An illusion of a closed room or an illusion of a crime.
このどちらかね。
It'll be one of those.
密室錯覚はわかるわ。
I get the first one.
一見密室に見えて実はそうじゃないってことでしょ。
That's when something looks like a closed room, but it actually isn't, right?
事件錯覚ってのは何？
What do you mean by an illusion of a crime?
事件が起こったと錯覚することよ。
An illusion that makes it seem as though a crime has occurred?
つまり本当に死んでいるのかどうかということ。
In other words, are they really dead?
何それ、バカバカしい。
Well, that's dumb.
いくら密室でも中の人が生きてたらそんなのただのトイレでおしっこしてるのと同じだわ。
If the people inside are alive, handling any kind of closed room, is like pissing in a toilet.
でも今回の密室殺人、
Wait, what? If the people inside are alive, handling any kind of closed room, okay, sure. Still, with this closed room,
ぶっちゃけそれが回答だとしか思えないのよね。
it's pretty hard to think of any other answer.
チェーンロックを外側から細工する無限の可能性は。
What about the endless possibilities of manipulating the chain lock from the outside?
隠し扉の有無、遠隔殺人の有無、あるいは自殺の可能性だって。
We don't know if there are secret doors, ways to kill from a distance, chances of suicide,
そもそも密室が成立しているのかさえわからないというのに。
or even whether these are complete closed rooms in the first place.
私はバトラのゲーム版裏から見てるから知ってるけど、
I already know, since I'm looking at Battler's game board from the underside.
これは完璧な密室よ。
But these are perfect closed rooms.
密室は内部からのみ構築され、外部からは構築も解除も干渉も一切できない。
They can only be constructed from the inside, and there exists no method by which to construct, deconstruct, or interfere with them from the outside.
それ赤で言える？
Can you say that in red?
さすがにそれはバトラに悪いから遠慮するわ。
That'd be a little too rude to Battler. So no.
ベルンが私を愛してるんだったら、私の発言も赤き真実で見えるはずよ。
If you do love me, you must see my words as red truth already, right? That's a really good line. I really like that. For some reason, that's just very funny to me. Starting it off with, if you do love me, you would see my dialogue in red already, wouldn't you? You would see my lines in red text.
なら密室は完璧。
Then the closed rooms are perfect.
つまりこれは事件錯覚ってことになるわ。
In other words, this is an illusion of a crime.
そうなるわね。
It does seem that way.
だとしたらこれは全部狂言密室だわ。
If so, these are all trick closed rooms.
大方エリカがあまりに空気読めずに探偵探偵と騒ぐものだから、
Doesn't this mean that everyone got so pissed at Erica bragging about detectives and stuff?
後ろ宮家みんなで結託して狂言殺人を披露してからかってみたってことじゃない？
That they joined together and set up a fake murder to make fun of her?
あら、これ正解？
Oh, is that the right answer?
私ってば超名探偵。
I'm like a super detective.
それが困ったことに、これは狂言じゃないのよ。
Unfortunately, this isn't a fake.
犠牲者はきっちり殺されてるわ。
The victims really have been killed. Huh?
2日目の24時の時点でとかじゃなくて？
And you don't mean by midnight on the second day, right?
探偵宣言を出してこそいないけど、彼女の検視は極めて正確よ。
No detective proclamation has been made, but she's very accurate when examining corpses.
私が赤き真実を与えられるくらいにね。
She's good enough that I could give her examinations the red truth.
それで
So,
エリカの検視時に間違いなく死亡してたってことになるの？
does that mean that they were definitely dead when Erica examined their corpses?
ええ、そうよ。
Yes, that's right.
それはもうがっつりと。
Totally.
でも赤き真実では言ってあげないのね。
But you won't say it in red for her, right?
エリカはその赤が喉から手が出るほど欲しいだろうに。
Giggle. And that poor Erica must want it so bad.
だって今回のあいつ探偵でさえないもの。
Well, she isn't even the detective this time around.
赤き真実なんてあげないわ。
I won't give her any red.
しかしとなるとすごいじゃない。
Still, that makes it incredible.
バトラの今回のこれ完璧な密室殺人だわ。
This time, Battlers really made a perfect closed room.
あら、そうなるわ。
Oh, yes, I believe you're right.
エリカ大丈夫？
Will Erica be okay?
一見普通の密室殺人だけど
It looks like an ordinary closed room murder at a glance.
地味にかなりヤバい密室だわこれ。
But this one is pretty nasty.
探偵権限さえないエリカにはちょっと荷が重いんじゃない？
Won't this load be a bit too heavy for Erica without her detective's authority?
自称名探偵だもの。
She is a self-proclaimed detective.
きっとエリカはやってくれるわ。
I'm sure she'll pull through.
探偵ですらない人間風情に打ち破られたらバトラもベアとも最高にざまあないくらいに粉々でしょ。
If Battler and Beato are defeated by a mere human, who isn't even a detective, it'd fall apart in the most exquisite way, don't you think?
それに万一エリカが負けても最悪のかけらにぶち込んで忘却の深淵に叩き込んで遊ぶからそれはそれで面白そうだし。
And even if Erica loses, you get to play by throwing her into the worst fragment, and knocking her into the depths of oblivion?
そういうこと。
Exactly.
私たちはどっちに転んでも退屈しないわ。
No matter how it turns out, it won't be boring.
あんたってば本当に血も涙もないわね。
You really are heartless, aren't you?
ま、そんな黒猫を雑巾のように絞って一滴だけ滴る雫を舐める時が私の至福なわけだけど。
Well, wring out this black cat like a towel and licking up every last drop is bliss to me.
ベアとのゲーム版でも散々遊ばせてもらってるけど
Beato's game board did entertain me for quite some time,
もう何も出てきやしないくらいに絞り尽くしたわ。
but we've already wrung everything we can from it.
このゲームもこれでおしまいなのよ。
It'll be over with this game.
だから最後にふさわしくエリカ、バトラ互いの破滅をかけた一騎打ちくらいには盛り上がってくれなきゃね。
So in the end, we really must let Battler and Erica bet everything in. Bet everything in one final face-off. I read that weird. Okay, so I think we, and I mean chat, I mean me, we, the collective we, made a joke about this like a stream or 2 or 3 ago. But like, they've now made reference that this is the final one. Everyone's pouring it all. This is the final face-off. But like, then that just makes me super curious. I mean, that can't be the case because there's 2 more episodes after this. What would be those 2 episodes then? If not more, if not a continuation, what would change in those final 2 episodes? I must know. Let's just fast forward. Honestly, let's scrap episode 6. Let's just load up episode 7 and see what's going on. All right, I'm sure no one will mind. I'm sure we don't need to see the rest of episode 6. Either Battler will win or he'll lose. Erica will win or lose.
ちえ
Tch.
このゲームで無限にあんたと遊ぼうと思ったのに
And I wanted to play with you forever in this game.
残念だわ。
What a shame.
とんでもない。
Come now.
十分にあんたに付き合わされたわよ。
I read that weird. I've spent plenty of time with you already.
また面白そうなゲーム版を見つけてらっし
Go find me another interesting game.
ゃそしたらまた遊んであげる
If you do, I'll play with you again.
本当にあんたは私を飽きさせないわ。
Yes, you really don't let me get bored.
それでいいのよ、ベルンカステル。
That's okay, Burn Castell.
そんなあんたの表情を苦悶に歪めることだけが私が覚えてしまった唯一の禁断の蜜なのだから。
Seeing your face twist with anguish is one forbidden honey I found for myself. Lamdadil had guaranteed that it was a perfect closed room. Burn Castell had guaranteed that it was a perfect murder. A perfect closed room and murder. The witches hated Killjoy, so they haven't said anything with the red truth yet. Pursuing that was the role for Battler and Erica. Hmm.
ずいぶんドタバタと現場巡りをしたようだな。
Looks like you've trampled all over the crime scenes by now.
十分か？現場検証は。
Satisfied? Is your inspection complete?
ええ、十分です。
Yes, I'm satisfied. Oh hey, what's up?
さて、私とあなたの赤と青の論争バトルですが、いかがします？
So, about our war of red and blue.
早速始めますか？
Shall we start right away?
それとも最後にまとめて？
Or do it all at the end? Napped a bit too much? Nah, you're good. Naps. I was gonna say naps are great. I'm one of those people. I think I've said this many times. I'm incapable of napping. I can't do it. My body is bad at doing it. I feel bad when I wake up from a nap. I find it hard to take a nap. I don't know when to do it accurately and how to feel actually rested at all. Shall we start right away or do it all at the end?
お預けは俺の勝負じゃねえな。
But don't worry, you only missed like the best hour of Umineko in our lives. That's all. It was the single best hour from the recap to now. It was the best hour of my Umineko streaming career. Battle says, I don't like putting things off.
それはお前もだろうぜ。
I think the same goes for you.
なら、早速この第1の番の密室に切り込ませていただきます。
Then let's get started with the closed rooms of the first Twilight.
その前に確認です。
First, I'd like to check.
復唱要求に応じるおつもりは？
Do you intend to respond if I ask you to repeat something in red?
内容によるぜ。
Depending on what you say, yes.
すべてに応じる義務はなく、応じない理由も開示しない。
I have no obligation to respond to everything. I won't reveal my reasons when I refuse. Alright, so far, loving the answer from Battler here. The perfect answer. Keep her guessing. Don't even let her know if you would not guarantee that you would say something in red. Don't give any more information than you have to. Even when it comes down to how you would reveal information. If she asks, hey, if I ask you something to repeat in red, are you going to do it? And he's like, maybe. So far, thumbs up for Battler I'm giving him. This is what I need from him. Good.
ではシンプルに密室定義の確認から参りましょう。
Then let's start simple and confirm the definition of a closed room.
ドラノール、
Delanor,
読み上げてください。
please read it aloud.
了解です。
Understood.
以下の復唱を要求します。
We demand that the following be repeated. Delanor spread out one of those scrolls that some official would always spread out when announcing the king in Western fairy tales and read it aloud. Oh, she's got the closed room scroll. First,
6人の部屋はすべて密室である。
the rooms with the 6 people in them are all closed rooms.
認める。
Acknowledged.
もちろん。ゴーダたちがチェーンを切断するなどして、密室を破るまでの話だが。
Of course, That's only until Goda and the others severed the chains and destroyed the closed rooms. Dude, Battler, he's so cool, calm, and collected right now. He doesn't even repeat the full thing in red. He's just like, I got time for this. I'm just going to say acknowledged in red text. So cool. He is so cool. At a nod from Delanor, Cornelia, who stood behind her, started taking notes.
一つ
Second,
密室の定義とは外部より構築不可能であること。
the definition of a closed room implies that it's impossible to construct from the outside.
認める。
Acknowledged.
つまり外部からはどんな細工でも密室を構築できないということ。
In other words, no trickery done from the outside can construct a closed room.
チェーンロックを外部より細い針金などで器用にかけ直したなどは認められないということです。
It is not permitted for a chain lock to be reset from the outside by a cleverly used wire, for example.
言われるまでもありません。
I didn't need you to tell me that.
ドラノール、続けてください。
Erica's like, shut up, I didn't ask you, new Beato. Go back to the corner or whatever. Go away. Okay, she says, I didn't, Delanor, please continue.
一つ
Third,
密室の定義とは内外を横断する一切の干渉が断絶されていることを指す。
the definition of a closed room implies that all forms of interference that pass between the inside and outside of the room are prevented.
認める。
Acknowledged.
ただし、ノックや声、内線電話など一般的な部屋で想定できる干渉方法を否定はしない。
However, I won't deny the kinds of interference that you'd expect from a normal room, such as knocks, voices, and the extension telephone line.
一つ
Fourth,
密室破壊時、室内には犠牲者、夏日、エヴァ、キリエ、ローザ、マリア、バトラ以外存在しない。
at the time of the deconstruction of the closed rooms, none existed within the rooms except the victims: Natsui, Eva, Kairi, Rosa, Maria, Battler.
認める。
Acknowledged. In this way, they could confirm whether or not the culprit had been hiding inside a closed room. If the culprit had slipped out of the room after the discoverers had noticed the murders and then walked away, it would have been impossible to construct an illusion of a closed room. Because Battler acknowledged their statement with the red truth, the possibility that the culprit and the victim had both been inside the closed room at the time of the crime, that the culprit... Let me retry that again. The possibility that the culprit and the victim had both been inside the closed room at the time of the crime, that the culprit had hidden under the bed and snuck out after the discovery of the crime, had been denied. Okay.
一つ
Fifth,
密室破壊時以降に殺人は行われていない。
no murder was committed after the deconstruction of the closed rooms.
拒否する。
I refuse. Damn, wait. No murder was committed after the deconstruction of the closed rooms. Alright. Alright. Okay. But he's just saying he's not confirming it. It's not that he's denying it. He's just saying I can't confirm it. Battler. Okay, I refuse.
なぜです？
Why?
実は密室を破った時点では犠牲者たちが生きてたからですか？
Because the victims really were alive after the closed rooms were destroyed? Now, this is the first test for Battler. He literally, 2 minutes ago, said, I'm not going to explain to you why if I refuse something. And then she immediately goes, why? So, I hope he just says, I said I wasn't going to explain if I refuse.
そして実は押し入ったクラウスたちが犯人でそこで殺人を行った。
So, Kraus and the others who barged in were the culprits and committed the murders then?
すなわち密室誤殺人だから。これが真相だからですか？
In other words, there were post-closed room murders? Is that why you refuse? I'm just gonna fade away.
いいえ、違います。
I refuse to explain. Fades away. Beatrice says, not at all.
まだ殺人は続くのですから、これ以降に殺人が行われないと赤で宣言することはできません。
The murders will continue to occur, so we cannot say in red that no murders will happen after this. Also, I love that, So Battler has Beatrice, this new Beatrice by his side, And she's like explaining things and saying things, you know, for Battler and stuff. But like, Erica's posse is like, Erica has Delanor, we got Tweedledee and Tweedledum, whatever their fucking names were, Cornelia and Gertrude. I remember actually, but still, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, as referenced earlier. Why does she get just a big group for her? You know, a team, a party. Whatever. Sheesh, what twisted logic. Sheesh. Logic.
私たちの趣旨は分かってるはずです。
You probably see what we're getting at.
クラウスたちがチェーンを切断して密室を破り、そして中にいた人間を殺した。
Krause's group cut the chain, destroyed the closed rooms, then killed the people inside.
これに反応してもらいたいだけです。
I just want you to counter this.
エリカ卿、クラウスたちとの不特定多数な言い方では不十分です。
Lady Erica, it is insufficient to refer to Krause's group, an unspecified number of people.
まずは密室破壊後に室内に入った人間を確定すべきです。
You should first determine which humans entered the room after the closed room was deconstructed.
近景
Allow me to speak.
密室に踏み入ったのは犠牲者を除きクラウス、ルドルフ、秀吉、ゴーダの4人なり。
Accepting the victims, those who enter the closed rooms are Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda.
近景
Allow me to speak.
これは聞き取りによるものなり
This is based on spoken testimony.
他に踏み入った人物がいないという保証はなきなりと知りたてまつれ
Know that there is no proof that others did not enter.
言われるまでもない。
I know that already.
今のを復唱してもらいましょう。
Let's have you repeat that.
密室破壊後、部屋に入ったのは私を除き、クラウス、ルドルフ、秀吉、ゴーダの4人のみである。
After the deconstruction of the closed rooms, then excluding me, only Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda entered the rooms.
いいぜ。
Sure.
認める。
Acknowledged.
ただしこれは現時点での話だ。
However, this only applies to the current point in time.
今後のゲーム展開以下では他の人物が立ち入ることもあり得る。
It's possible that some later development in the game will cause more people to enter.
復唱要求。
Repeat it.
クラウス、ルドルフ、秀吉、ゴーダは犯人ではない。
Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda are not culprits. Boom! She says it with a thundering boom. Refuse to say anything, Battler. Refuse to acknowledge. Battler put his finger on his chin, deep in thought. This word, culprit, was fairly broad, and it might serve to greatly restrict the darkness of the witch.
答えてもいいのではないでしょうか
Why not answer?
もし拒否すればクラウスたちが犯人であるという青き真実が残ったままとなります
If we refuse, their blue truth naming Kraus and the others as culprits will remain.
そうだな。
Sure.
認めはするが言い方をさらに厳密にしよう。
I borked something. One sec. Okay, better. Sure. I'll acknowledge it, but I'll make the language more strict.
クラウス、ルドルフ、秀吉、ゴーダたち4人は
I'll acknowledge it, but I'll make the language more strict. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda.
夏日、エヴァ、キリエ、ローザ、マリア、バトラたち6人の殺人に関わっていない。
We're not involved in the murders of Natsui, Eva, Kairi, Rosa, Maria, and Battler.
ということは、密室に入ってさえいない、それ以外の人間たちもまた。
So wait, what did he say there? Let me see. I'll make the language more strict. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda were not involved in the murders of Natsui, Eva, Kairi, Rosa, Maria, and Battler. Okay, so he's just adding a bit more qualifiers to it.
殺人に関わることは不可能
Oh, and I didn't read
と
that
いうこ
statement
と
there.
になりますね。
I'm all out of sorts. And that means it was impossible for any of the other humans who didn't even enter the closed room to have been involved with murder, doesn't it?
さあな、自分で考えな。
Who knows? Think about it yourself.
密室に立ち入らずに密室殺人を成立させる青き真実が提出できるってんなら、こっちも赤き真実で返答してもいいぜ。
If you think you can build up some blue truth for how a closed room murder can be committed without entering the room, then I'll respond with the red truth.
もっとも俺はお前がこれから提出する青き真実のうちたった一つを打ち破るだけでいい。
However, I only need to destroy one of the blue truths you'll be presenting from here on out.
つまり今からお前が遠隔密室殺人のトリック X を青き真実で説明できたとしても、
In other words, even if you do manage to use the blue truth and explain this away with some long-distance closed room murder trick X,
必ずしもそれに赤き真実で答える必要はないわけだ。
I don't necessarily have to counter that with the red truth. These are the rules of the witch's game. Angie had confirmed these details with Beato in the fourth game. The witch side lays out riddle after riddle that claims are important. The witch side lays out riddle after riddle that it claims are impossible to carry out except by magic. The human side must use the blue truth to argue that they are explainable with tricks. And if they fail to make a counter argument with the blue truth for even one of the riddles, that riddle will be considered to have been done by magic. And it will be impossible to deny the existence of a witch. In other words, the witch side only needs to protect any one of its riddles. However, the human side has to fully explain all riddles with the blue truth. And even if the human side managed to explain all the riddles with the blue truth, if any one of those is successfully countered by the red truth, the witch will win. That was why, like the strategy the old Beato had adopted at the end, it was sufficient for the witch side to put off their red text counter arguments until the very last moment, then make a single strike at their opponent's most fragile spot.
いずれにせよ、今の復唱要求には拒否ということですね。
In any event, you've refused to repeat that last one, right?
勘違いするなよ。
Don't get the wrong idea.
復唱要求はお前へのサービスではないんだぜ。
I don't give out red for free. I don't give out red for free. I just like that. It's like, yeah, I don't give out red for free. Just seems very funny to me. From the witch's side perspective, repeating statements made by the human side is just a supplement to make sure that they haven't misunderstood the question. Therefore, they have no obligation to respond to extremely broad demands.
やりますね。魔女側プレイヤーとしてもなかなか頑張るじゃないですか。
Not bad. Looks like you can handle being a player on the witch side pretty well too.
お前とは場数が違うぜ。
Your experience is no match for mine.
ドラノール
Delano!
続けます。
Let us continue.
一つ、犠牲者たちは他殺を除くあらゆる方法で死んではいない。
Next, the victims did not die by any method other than homicide.
認める。
Acknowledged.
もちろん自殺や事故死ではありません。
Of course, there were no suicides or accidental deaths.
一つ、犠牲者は
Seventh, the victims.
ドラノール
That-
それで結構です。
Oh, that's enough, Delano.
よろしいのですか？
Are you sure?
まだ項目が。
There are still items.
えもう十分です。
She's like, I still have this big scroll. I didn't even get halfway through my scroll. Yes, that'll do fine.
現場の状況は確認できました。
I've confirmed the status of the crime scene.
ここから青き真実での反論タイムとしましょう。
From here on, it's time for me to argue back with the blue truth.
ああ、いいぜ。
Sure, fine.
ご考説を拝聴しようじゃないか。
Let me hear your masterful theories. Though Battler and Erica were enemies, It looked to Beato as though they were having a little fun doing this. Oh no, is Beato jealous? No. I think it's just recognizing. I think, well, I mean, it's probably going to say it in a sec, but I think Battler just likes to be challenged. He's a true gamer. He's a true gamer. She was probably slightly... Oh, wait! She was probably slightly jealous of Erica. Damn. Beato thought back on the book she had read in Featherine's library in which the old her and Battler had fought. That must have been pretty... that must have been fun as well. During a short break in the family conference, a horrible, brutal mass murder had occurred. 6 people killed, excluding Battler, had all been women. The remaining men went mad with rage at this cowardice, then broke down sobbing at the sadness of losing their wives over and over again. That's a good point. I didn't actually even put it together that mostly all the women had died. Was it all the women? Was it, let me get a check here real quick. I mean, well, obviously it's not like they're here. She's here. Oh, Jessica, technically, yeah. So not, but mostly women died. Casualties of the first night. Now we just have we have a lot of testosterone with guns, and they're angry apparently. The remaining men went mad with rage at this cowardice, then broke down sobbing at the sadness of losing their wives over and over again. Oh shit, Hideyoshi also has a gun. Okay, why were they all women? How cowardly can a person be? What's wrong with us?
自分の家族が殺されてるのに揃いも揃って気づかずのんびりヤニを吸ってたってわけかよ畜生
Here we are, under the same roof. We're just smoking away, not noticing that members of our own family are getting killed. Damn it!
しかし
Oh, hey!
どうやって
But who? And how?
妻たちは決して無防備ではなかったのだぞ
They were not unguarded.
皆チェーンをしたままだった
The chain was set for all of them.
くだらねえぜそんなこと
Who gives a damn about that?
どうやって殺したかが問題じゃねえ誰が殺したかだけが問題だ
I don't care how they were killed. I just want to know who did it.
なあ、源氏さん、郷田さん。
Hey, Genji-san, Goda-san.
親族会議中の屋敷は窓も扉もすべて鍵がかかってたっちゅうんやな。
Were the doors and windows to the mansion all locked during the family conference?
はい。
Yes.
それはもう間違いなく。
There could be no doubt.
奥様のお言いつけ通り、普段は夜の見回り時に必ずすべての施錠をいたしております。
In accordance with Madam's instructions, everything is always locked at the time of the night patrol.
今夜は特別でございましたので、お子様方をゲストハウスへお送りしてからすぐに施錠するようにいたしておりました。
Tonight was a special case, so everything was locked up right after seeing the children off to the guest house.
そりゃおかしいぜ。
How is that possible?
だったらどうして屋敷にバトラーやマリアちゃんがいるんだ
I mean, Battler and Mira-chan were inside the mansion, right?
入ってこれないはずだろう
They shouldn't have been able to get in, right?
戸締まりがほんまにしっかりしとったらそういうことにはならんはずや。
If everything really was locked up properly, that couldn't have happened.
この二人が屋敷の中にいたことが戸締まりが完全じゃなかったことの証拠とちゃうんかな
Doesn't that prove that the building wasn't completely locked up? Well. He was arguing that Goda's failure to lock up properly might have allowed a stranger to sneak in. At the very least, none of them had known that Battler and Maria had visited the mansion. If those two had come and found everything locked tight, they wouldn't have been able to get inside. If they had rung the doorbell, Goda would probably have heard them from the servant room, but Goda said that nothing of the sort had happened. How they had entered the locked mansion was a complete mystery.
ひょっとするとでございますが。
This is merely an idea, but
例えば奥様方のどなたかがたまたま玄関近くにおいでになり
For example, what if Madam or someone happened to be near the entrance?
バトラー様たちのノックか呼び鈴に気づいて扉をお開けになったとか。
Notice Battler Sama and Maria Sama knocking on the door, ringing the bell, and let them in.
そんなわけねえだろ。
That couldn't have happened.
その時ゴダさんは使用人室にいたはずだろ。
You were in the servant room then, right, Goto-san?
玄関が開いたら使用人室にチャイムが鳴る仕掛けがあったはずだぜ。
Isn't there a chime in the servant room that goes off when the front door opens?
来客に気づかねえわけはねえ。
There's no way you would have missed anyone.
それがその。
Well...
ゴーダはその時ちょうど皆様方のお言いつけでお飲み物等の配膳にお伺いしており、
At that time, Goto was serving drinks as you requested.
使用人室に不在でした。
So he was not in the servant room.
なんでこんな大事な日に屋敷の使用人が一人なんだ。
Why was there only one servant in the mansion on such an important day?
どうして源氏さんみたいな重要な人がゲストハウスの当番なんだ。
Why was someone as important as Genji-san on duty in the guest
お
house?
かしいじゃねえか。
Does that make any sense?
どうして使用人室を空っぽにしちまったんだ。
Why was the servant room left empty?
妻がそういうシフトを組んだのだ。
My wife formed those shifts.
よく気の利くゴーダなら親族会議中にも洒落た飲み物を差し入れてくれると期待したのだろう。
She probably hoped that Goto would be kind enough to serve some fashionable drinks throughout the family conference as well.
しかしな、クラス兄さん。
Yeah, he's livid. He's livid. He's like, man, not my son. My poor son. The first time Rudolph has been a final girly, right? Question mark. I'm trying to think. But Kraus-Nissan.
親族会議やで。
This is the family conference, right?
一年で一番大切な日やで。
The most important day of the year, right?
そんな日になんでゴーダさん一人だけを屋敷の当番にしたんや。
Why was Goto-san left as the only person on shift in the mansion?
せめてもう一人おったら話は変わってたんとちゃうか。
If there had been just one more person, everything would be different, wouldn't it?
なあ、なあ。
Right? Right? With a half-crying, half-enraged, jumbled-up expression, Hideyoshi yelled at Goto. Of course, the culprit who killed everyone was the most to blame and the most despicable. However, even if he understood that, he needed to let off some of his emotions by hating someone he could see.
皆さんの胸中、心よりお察しします。
I'm fully aware of how everyone feels.
ですがどうか落ち着いてください。
However, please calm down. Also, Erica, I think that's a lie. I'm fully aware of how everyone feels. Wrong. You're incapable of feeling. You don't understand shit. Just gotta point that out there. I think they've been... Yeah.
ゴーダさんの戸締まりが不完全だったか。
Either Goto-san wasn't thorough when locking up.
あるいはゲストハウスから戻ってきたバトラさんとマリアさんを誰かが迎え入れて、その後施錠し忘れたのかは分かりません。
Or someone let Battler-san and Maria-san in after they came back from the guest house, and then forgot to lock up afterwards.
ただ、それが謎の犯人の侵入と関係があったとは限りません。
However, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how the culprit snuck in.
何しろ、あれだけの大きなお屋敷です。
After all, the mansion is massive.
もっと早い段階から屋敷に入り、ずっと深夜までどこかの部屋で息を殺していたのかもしれません。
They might have come in much earlier and hid until late at night, for all we know.
誰かを疑いたい気持ちはわかりますが、どうか落ち着いてください。
I can understand that you might want to suspect certain people, but please calm down.
客人の言う通りだ。
Our guest is right.
憎むべきは犯人であって、たまたま当番だったゴーダではない。
The culprit is the one we should hate, not the servant who just happened to be on duty.
とにかく落ち着こ
At any rate, let's calm down.
う。私とて悔し
I feel as terrible as the rest of you.
い。だが今は我々が率先して冷静さを取り戻さなくてはどうしようもない。
However, we must take the initiative now and regain our composure.
兄貴、
Aniki.
皆辛くて悔しい気持ちは同じだ。
Everyone feels just as sad and devastated.
そして犯人を絶対に許したくない。
And none of us will ever forgive the one who did this.
だからこそ我々は冷静を取り戻さなければならないのだ。
For that reason, we must regain our composure.
そうや。
He's right.
わしにもジョージがおる。
I still have George.
クラウス兄さんにはジェシカちゃんがおる。
Kraus Nissan still has Jessica-chan. And you, Rudolph?
そしてルドルフ君も
Oh,
帰りを
yeah.
待つエンジちゃんがおるはずや。
You still have Angie. And Rudolph-kun, you still have Angie-chan waiting for you to return, right?
犯人と差し違えたる思うんはまだ早いんや。
It's still too soon to start pointing fingers.
まだ犯人はこの島にいます。
The culprit is still on this island.
そしてこの無残な事件がこれで幕を下ろしたとは限らないのです。
And we can't be sure that this tragic crime is over.
私たちは冷静を取り戻し、これ以上の惨劇を食い止めねばなりません。
We need to stay calm and prevent any further tragedies. Erica's words softly consoled them and gently admonished them. If a servant had said the same thing, Rudolph would probably have jumped on him. However, since it had come from the lips of the guest, a neutral party, it seemed to reach their ears.
落ち着きましょう。
Let's stay cool.
ここには成人の男性が3人もいて、そして銃を持っています。
We have 3 grown men with us. Dumb as shit. Business acumen of dumbos. And guns as well.
犯行の手口を見る限り、犯人が銃を持っている可能性は低いでしょう。
Judging by the pattern of the murders, the chances of the culprit having a gun are low.
つまり、私たちがしっかりしている限り、もはや犯人に手出しする余地はないということです。
In other words, as long as we keep our heads, the culprit no longer has any way to touch us.
彼女の言う通りだ。
She's right.
後宮の島でこれ以上犯人の好き勝手にさせるわけにはいかん。
We can't let the culprit do as they please any longer on our island.
探し出そう。
Let's find the culprit.
この台風だ。
Kraus automatically drags the average. Let's find the culprit. We're in the middle of a typhoon.
島からは逃げられねえし、雨宿りできる場所だって限られてるはずだ。
They can't escape from the island, and there's only so many places they can take shelter from the rain in. Oh, he's like, yeah, let's go on a hunting spree.
狭くありません。
This island is larger than you think.
残念ですが、この程度の人数で島を探すのは難しいでしょう。
Unfortunately, it would be difficult to search the island with this many people.
何しろ皆さんは見つけたら即座に撃ち殺さんばかりの勢いです。
After all, if you found the culprit, you might shoot them to death on the spot as you are now.
怯えた犯人があの深い森の中に逃げ込んだとしたら簡単には見つけられません。
If the frightened culprit has run into that deep forest, you won't find them easily.
そうやな。
Right.
おとなしく台風が過ぎるのを待って、
We should just wait for the typhoon to pass.
船に警察を呼んでもらい、島中を徹底的に探し回ってもらう方がええやろ。
Have the boat call the police for us. Let them thoroughly search the island.
警察はな、すごいで。
The police are incredible.
何百人も来てくれて、ほんまにしらみつぶしで探すんや。
They'll bring hundreds of people and pick through it with a fine-toothed comb. Will they, Hideyoshi? Will they? You sure about that?
いくら深い
Sure
森
about
でもな、絶対にあぶり出してみせるで。
That forest may be deep, but they'll definitely smoke the culprit out.
今一番大事なのは
Yes, they assure me as are rich. Good point. Good point. The most important thing now
これ以上愛する家族を失わないことだ
is to make sure no more of our beloved family members are taken from us.
ルドルフ
Rudolph,
お前に万が一があったら帰りを待つエンジェちゃんはどうなる
if something happens to you, what will happen to Angie-chan back home?
キリエバトラ
Kyrie. Battler.
畜生畜生
Damn it. Damn it.
お前たちに俺はまだ打ち明けてねえってのに
I never had a chance to tell you the truth. God, I'm yawning too much. The past like 15 minutes. This is why I said I could only do like 2 hours tonight.
クラウスさん、
Energy depleting. Erica says, Kraus-san.
きっといとこ部屋の皆さんも激しく動揺していると思います。
I'm sure that everyone in the cousin room is extremely agitated right now.
クラウスさんが落ち着きを取り戻したところを見せることによって皆さんも少なからず落ち着きを取り戻せると思います。
If you show them that you've regained your composure, I'm sure that will help them relax a lot.
言ってあげてはどうでしょう。
Would you mind heading up there?
そうだな
Good point.
みんなにこれからのことを話さなければなるまい
We have to talk with everyone about what we're going to do next.
源氏さんと郷田さんも一緒に上に行ってください。
Please go up with him, Genji-san and Goda-san.
シャノンさんやカノンさん、熊沢さんもきっと動揺されてると思います。
I'm sure that Shannon-san, Cannon-san, and Kumasawa-san are all very agitated. They're agitated.
はい
I like that word to describe upset people. They're agitated. Yes.
それはもうきっと皆さんも動揺されていることでしょう
Yes, I'm sure everyone is quite agitated.
よろしいのですか
Are you certain?
何かお手伝いできることは他にありませんか
Is there anything else we can help with?
だからこそクラウスさんと一緒にいてください。
That's why I want to go with Kraus-san.
何かの時すぐにそれに応えられるように。
I want you there to help him if something
私
happens.
たちは先にここの戸締まりを確認したいと思います。
I'd like for the rest of us to check and see that everything's locked up here.
すぐに上がりますから先に行ってください。
We'll head up soon, so please go on ahead.
わかりました
Understood.
何かございましたらお呼びください
If you need anything, please call us. Genji bowed, and Kraus nodded. Kraus also nodded to Erica, then headed up to the second floor with Genji and Goda. In times of confusion, when only men are around, it's easy for a composed member of the opposite sex to take the initiative. In times of confusion, when only men are around, it's easy for a composed member of the opposite sex to take the initiative. Okay. Even without the detective's authority, she was able to control them quite naturally. She wrangled those dumb men. Wielding guns. Eric had wanted to get rid of the servants for the time being.
よし
Okay.
そうときたら早速戸締まりを確認しようぜ
In that case, let's get to checking the locks.
問題はラウンジのこの大窓やな
Our problem's gonna be the big window in the lounge.
シャッターもないみたいや
Looks like it doesn't even have shutters.
ここをぶち破られたら侵入は防げんで
If they smash this, we won't be able to stop them from coming in.
いいさガラスの割れる音で十分だぜ
Don't worry. Sound of the glass smashing will be more than enough warning.
蜂の巣にしてやる
We'll turn them to Swiss cheese.
お静かに。
Yes, but how many times can you fold a piece of cheese? Kind of like an accordion, maybe make one slice. and cut it into 7 pieces or whatever the fuck. I will always be thinking about that. Now, whenever cursed Umineko thinkings, I'm telling you, my whole life, if I ever think about a piece of sliced cheese ever again, I'm going to think about folding it in accordion style. That is just a thing I will always think about when I think of a slice of cheese. I will never think of one without the other. Similarly, if I ever think of an accordion, I will think of sliced cheese. And I'll be like, that's an Umineko thing. Does Byrne know the answer to the game? She's trying to deduce it, as far as I know. Now, if you probably asked her, she's like, "Oh, I've already figured out so much of this." But she is deducing it. She's doing her best detectiving. She says, "Quiet, please."
皆さんに残ってもらったのは戸締まりの確認のためではありません。
I didn't have you stay down here to check the doors and windows.
今から言うことを冷静に聞いてください。
Please listen calmly to what I'm about to say. When Erica lowered her voice, Rudolph and Hideyoshi realized that she wanted to talk about something secret. So they brought their ears closer as soon as they regained their composure.
いいですか？
Listen up.
事件は親族会議の小休止中というわずかな時間の間に起こりました。
This crime happened during a short break in the family conference.
そのわずかの時間中に誰にも悟られずに6人もの人間を殺すなど到底場当たり的な犯行とは思えません。
In that tiny span of time, 6 people were killed without anyone noticing. Can't imagine a crime improvised on the spot going so smoothly.
これは屋敷の内外の構造を知り尽くした関係者の犯行です。
This crime was committed by someone who knew the layout of this mansion well, inside and out.
それは
Well,
そら内部に詳しゅうなかったら。
well, if they did know the inside well.
しかし。
But a short while ago, they had attacked Goda, suspecting the servants of making a blunder. However, they'd only thought that he'd forgotten to lock up and were attacking him for letting the mysterious culprit sneak in. They hadn't considered that one of the servants they knew so well might have taken those lives with their own hands. No, they hadn't wanted to think that. People can't easily suspect someone they know well of being a culprit.
犯行当時、
At the time of the crime,
屋敷は内部より施錠され、親族会議に関わる皆さんしか存在しませんでした。
the mansion was locked from the inside, and only those involved with the family conference existed there.
じゃあ兄貴がキリエたちを殺したってのか？
So, Aniki killed Kyrie and the others.
それとも秀吉兄さんを疑えってのか？
Or am I supposed to suspect Hideyoshi Nissan?
ありえねえ。考えられねえ。
It's impossible. Unthinkable.
わしは花からクラウス兄さんもルドルフ君も疑っとらんで。
I never even considered suspecting Kraus Nissan or Rudolph Kuhn.
わしら兄弟はみんな夫婦仲はえうまいや。
All the siblings had excellent relationships with their spouses.
後ろ宮家は確かに規律や金には厳しい一族やで。
True. The Ishimiya family may be strict with discipline and money.
しかしな、家族を大事にするっちゅう気持ちは他の家に勝るとも劣らんつもりやで。
But that doesn't mean we treasure our own families less than anyone else.
もちろんそれは信じてます。
Yes, of course I believe that.
皆さんが奥さんを殺すなど夢にも思っていませんから。
I wouldn't dream that any of you would kill your own wives. Eric had already received red truth proof from Battler that they were not the murderers. So, there's no need to argue that point. Kraus, Rudolph, Hideyoshi, and Goda. None of those 4 was the killer. And yet, Erica said this.
しかし、ゴーダさんはどうでしょうか。
However, what about Goda-san?
親族会議の間、ずっと控室にいて、誰にも知られずに何らかの工作ができる立場です。
He was in the waiting room the whole time during the family conference, in a position from which he could do anything without anyone knowing.
ゴーダさんを疑うのはちょいと早いで。
Isn't it a little early to suspect Goda-san?
ゴーダさんは小休止の時食堂に飲み物の配膳に来てくれてたんや。
Goda-san came to bring us drinks in the dining hall during the break.
だいぶ長いこと一緒にいてくれた。
He was with us for quite some time.
とても6人も殺す時間的猶予があったとは思えんのや。
He couldn't have had time to kill 6 people.
しかし実行犯を屋敷内に手引きすることはできたかもな。
However, he might have been able to let the actual killer into the mansion.
そういうことです。
Precisely.
ゴーダさん自身は実行犯ではないでしょう。
Nah, it's so easy to blame the servants. Goda-san probably didn't kill them himself. The question here is why is what seeds is Erica sowing here? Why is she intentionally doing this? Is the question. Goda-san probably didn't kill them himself. Oh, she's saying okay.
実行犯を密か
No,
に
I
屋
get it.
敷
I
内に
immediately
迎え
understand.
入れることは十分に可能でした。
However, it's very possible they secretly welcomed the actual murderer into the mansion. Ryulf and Hideyoshi, stunned, looked at each other. Now, does she actually believe this? Or is she just trying to, like, for lack of a better term, like, sow chaos here? Is she trying to get people questioning Goda? Ryulf and Hideyoshi, stunned, looked at each other. They were family. Even a wife of the siblings would be considered family. Though the siblings hated each other, it wasn't possible that they'd hate each other's wives enough to kill them. Even Rosa were 2 of the siblings. But none of the others could have had any reason to kill Natsui, Kairi, Battler, or the young Maria. Oh, I have a reason to kill Maria. If I was the murderer, she would be the first to go. But to a servant like Goda, perhaps they were all a little more than complete strangers.
私が使用人を疑う点は2点です。
I suspect the servants on 2 points.
まず1点目は、犠牲者たちと面識があり、かついずれの現場にも争った跡がないこと。
First, the victims are familiar with them, and there were no signs of a fight in any of the crime scenes.
すべての現場は全く乱れていなかったのを、皆さんもよくご存知のはずです。
I think you know well that there was no disturbance at any of those places.
それは俺も思ってたぜ。
I was thinking that too.
あの喧嘩慣れした切り絵が何の抵抗もなく綺麗にパッタリ殺されるかってんだ。
Figured Kairi was used enough to fight. Used enough to fights that she wouldn't get killed that easily without resisting.
相手の指くらいは食いちぎる女だぜ。
That woman wouldn't hesitate to bite your finger off. Hell yeah, Kairi.
顔見
Hell
知り
yeah,
が
Kairi.
油断させたところを突然って方が確かに説明はつく。
It does make more sense if the culprit was someone she knew, who suddenly attacked her when her guard was down.
それを言ったらうちのエヴァもや。
Come to think of it, the same goes for my Eva.
何しろ武芸百般。
She knows a dozen kinds of martial arts.
暴漢が襲ってこないかと日々ワクワクしとる女やで。
She spends every day practically wishing for some ruffian to attack her.
そんなあっさりと殺されるわけがない。
She wouldn't have been killed off so easily.
なら、客間のローザさんだってどうです？
Then what about Rosa-san in the parlor?
一人娘と一緒のローザさんが不審者相手に抵抗もせず、みすみすと殺されると思いますか？
Do you think she'd be easily killed by a stranger without resisting while she had her only daughter with her?
そしてこのことはもう一つ大事なことを教えています。
And this tells us something that's important.
大事なこと？
Something important?
犯人は一人じゃないってことか。
The culprit isn't just one person, right?
そうや。
You're right.
客間にはローザさんとマリアちゃんが2人おったんや。
Both Rosa-san and Maria-chan were in the parlor.
同時に殺さなかったら大騒ぎになるところやで。
If they hadn't both been killed at the same time, there would have been an uproar.
それを殺せたっちゅうことは犯人は単独犯じゃないってことや。
Since the culprit was able to do that, it can't be just one of them.
ローザはマリアちゃんのことが絡めば小連れ熊みたいに怒りっぽくなるやつだ。
When it comes to Maria-chan, Rosa was like a quick-to-anger mama bear.
仮に相手が銃で脅したとしても
ひるむようなやつじゃね
She wouldn't cower in fear, even if someone pointed a gun at her.
え。なるほど。ローザにギリギリまで不信感を持たれない人物ってわけか。
I see. So it had to be someone who wouldn't rouse Rose's suspicion until the last second.
未知の部外者が島に紛れ込んでいるという考えの方が非現実的であることがすでにお分かりと思います。
Now we see that the idea of an unknown outsider sneaking onto the island is actually the less realistic option.
犯人はこの島に精通した関係者、
Culprit is someone familiar with this island.
そして複数です。
And there's more than one. Culprit is someone familiar. And there's more than one. Erica's reasoning pointed clearly at the ones they should suspect and guard themselves against.
エリカちゃんは使用人たちを疑ってるってのか。
So, you suspect the servants?
はい、
Yes?
現状を推理して最も疑わしいと思います。
Under the current circumstances, they are the most suspicious.
彼らを疑う2点目がチェーンロックの密室なのです。
The second reason is, to suspect them is the closed rooms with the chain locks.
どうしてチェーンロックが疑わしいんだ。
Why do the chain locks make them suspicious?
もしチェーンロックのない密室だったら
What if there was no chain lock on the closed rooms?
そんなの密室やないで。
Then they wouldn't be closed rooms.
マスターキーの一本もあれば誰だって密室にできるわ。
With a single master key, anyone could make them.
そういうことか。
I
な
see.
るほどね。
Oh, I see.
使用人たちが疑われないためにはチェーンでロックする必要があったってことか。
The servants had to seal them with the chain so that they wouldn't be suspected.
その通りです。
Exactly.
チェーンをかけることで彼らは疑われずに済む。
By setting the chain, they don't have to worry about being suspected.
逆を返せばチェーンをかければ彼らマスターキーの所持者は疑いを免れないのです。
To turn it around, if the chains weren't set, they wouldn't be able to avoid suspicion since they hold the master keys.
チェーンをかけて渡航するんは使用人だけっちゅうわけか。
So, the only ones with something to gain from setting the chains are the servants?
連中の肩を持つわけじゃねえが、ならどうやってチェーン？
I'm not trying to protect them or anything, but if so, how do they actually set the chains?
外からチェーンをかけるなんてできるのか？
Is it possible to set them from the outside?
構造的に考えて不可能ではないと思います。
Considering how they're built, I don't think it would be impossible.
こんな話ご存知ですか？
I don't think, have you heard the story?
マンションの郵便ポストに配達する郵便屋さんの中にはたまに針金で作ったヘラを持ち歩いてる人もいるそうですね。
Apparently, some mailmen who deliver to apartment mailboxes are known to carry loops of wire with them. Apparently, some mailmen who deliver to apartment mailboxes. Okay.
ああ、聞いたことあるで。
Yeah, I've heard of that.
マンションの郵便ポストは似たような部屋番号のポストが隣接しとる。
Apartment mailboxes often have similar adjoining boxes around them for the nearby room numbers.
ひょいっと投函したら一部屋間違ったポストだったっちゅうことも割とある話らしいや。
I hear they'd sometimes accidentally deliver letters to the next room over if they weren't careful.
マンションのポストは施錠されてることがほとんどです。
These mailboxes are almost always locked.
間違って投函してしまったらもう取り出せなくなってしまう。
If you put the mail into the wrong one, you'd have no way of getting it out. In that situation, they're supposed to tell the owner of that mailbox about their mistake. Have that person unlock the mailbox for them and retrieve the improperly delivered mail. However, the resident of that apartment would often be out. And going through that process would be a real pain. Because of that, some mailmen would make a little tool out of wire with a loop at the end, and use that to fish the mistakenly placed postcard out through the crack of the mailbox.
俺もビルの管理会社の兄ちゃんに聞いたことがあるな。
I've heard something similar from a friend of mine at a building management company.
たまにトイレの個室の中で酔っ払って寝込んじまうやつがいるらしくて。
It seems they would sometimes get drunks who locked themselves in the bathroom and fell asleep.
そういうのを連れ出すために 扉の隙間から薄い金具を入れて缶抜きを外したりすることもあるらしい。
So, to get them out of there, they'd stick a thin metal tool through the crack in the door and undo the latch.
そういうことです。
Exactly.
どこの業界でも本来は開けられないものをひょいっと開けられる裏技的な小道具が存在するものです。
All industries have little tools that can easily open things that normally can't be opened.
同じものを屋敷の使用人たちが持っていたとしても取り立てて驚くことではありません。
It wouldn't be particularly surprising if the servants of a mansion had something of the sort.
確かに。
Good point.
コツさえ分かれば
Once you figured out the knack of it,
針金で外からチェーンをかけるのもできないわけじゃなさそうだ。
you probably could set the chain from the outside by using a wire.
確かにできないとは言い切れねえ。
Yeah, can't be sure that it's impossible. True, physically speaking, one couldn't say for sure that there existed absolutely no way to set and unset chain locks from the outside. I don't know why he keeps doing that when we switch to the screen. Chain locks allow for the door to be opened to crack. If you stuck something through that crack, you should be able to manage it easily. It was very natural for them to think that. However, Erica knew better. Though it might be possible in reality, the Red Truth had already declared that these closed rooms could not have been constructed from the outside. In other words, it was impossible to manipulate the chain lock from the outside. And yet, Erica was guiding their thoughts with the illusion that only the servants could have constructed the closed rooms. So what does she know? What is she trying to do? What is she attempting? With an air of solemnly revealing some crucial point, she steadily steered the situation in the direction she wanted. Every part of her serious face for the last few minutes had been an act. No, to put it in her words, it was a detective technique for tricking suspects.
同じ話はクラウスさんにもするつもりです。
I plan to tell Kraus-san what I've told you.
使用人たちの全員が犯人だとは言いません。
I'm not saying that all the servants are culprits.
しかし、犯人、もしくはそれに加担する人物が含まれている可能性は濃厚です。
However, it's very likely that one of them is a culprit or has been assisting the culprit.
彼らを隔離し、銃を持つ人間を監視につけるべきです。
We should split them apart and have people with guns keep an eye on them. Rudolph and Hideyoshi looked at each other again. What she was saying made sense, and it sounded as though she was calmly smoking out the most suspicious people at this point in time. With her accomplished conversation techniques, Erica was cleverly grasping the initiative. Even without the detective's authority, it's possible to control human nature to this degree. What do you think, everyone? What do you think, everyone, about this Erica face? Ah, nice. We had perfectly ended on a break here for my 2 hours. Like I said, apologies we have to cut it somewhat short here tonight.
いかがですか?
Let me save, allow me to save before I forget. Let's see, Wednesday, finale to Paranormal. I'm feeling it. More Umineko Saturday. I'll make up for the somewhat shorter-ish 2 hours here tonight. Hopefully, come Saturday, we'll do a big chunk of Umineko. A big one. So that's the week ahead. Something Friday night, but that's to be determined. And that's kind of what we're... possibly something Thursday day? Since I'll start having some time off, but we'll see. Oh, actually, I probably know what's going to happen Friday night. The streams will happen throughout the week. I know, things will be happening. But, suffice to say, Paranormal Site finale tomorrow night. That'll be probably a few hours. And definitely Umineko on Saturday. But we'll sit down for a beefy chunk. Maybe we'll finish episode 6. I don't know. I don't know if I can confidently say that because I don't know how long episode 6 is left. I don't know if I can actually confidently say that. So, yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out on a random Tuesday night, watching a couple hours of Umineko. If you showed up late, I don't know. You can go watch the rest of the. Just find the VOD. The VOD will be here, either on YouTube or Twitch. As I said earlier in the stream, maybe the best hour of Umineko I've ever done. And that's not that actually that is. Do get it twisted. That is a hyperbole. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great week. Have a great Wednesday. And I will see you in another stream.